2-1 pitch to Mitch. Pitch swung on, high drive, left field. That baby's gone. Up on the burr, Mitch Garver. 2-run homer in the first inning, and the Mariners have a 2-0 lead.
That was yesterday, and this morning, the man who hit that home run, Mitch Garver, joins us at our picnic table. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, guys.
I'm told that was an 100-mile-an-hour sinker. No
it
biggie.
Was. Yep.
Just kind of turned on that sucker?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
kind of blacked out and got the ball in the air, which was a good thing.
It's just Arizona. It doesn't matter. You just hit it. It just goes. Okay. We want to talk to you about why you're here. We want to talk to you about the Mariners, talk to you about your history. But I got to start with this. You won the World Series last year. Mm-hmm. How awesome was that?
It was very fun. It was a very cool experience.
More than that.
Yeah, well, it was, and throughout the whole playoffs, it was just kind of a blur, right? Everything happened so fast, and there's a lot of games, a lot of travel, and you got your family with you, and we're all having a great time while we're doing it because we're playing really well, and we didn't lose a game till the ALCS, and it was just a really great experience to be able to feel that kind of pressure playing in baseball games and see your teammates around you rise up to the occasion and play great baseball.
Been around a couple of teams that won World Series in 2007, 2013. And what I noticed and what they told me is that something you just lock in, where all of a sudden everything just feels locked in together. The hitters seem to know what pitch is coming and know when they need to rise to the occasion. The pitchers feel superhuman. Did you guys get any of that feeling last year once the playoffs started?
Yeah, I think it was just contagious. The hitting became contagious. The pitching became contagious. Everybody that came into the game did their job when they're on the mound. Everybody who stepped up to the plate did their job. And it was just a really cool moment of combining the approach that we had worked on all year, putting it into a game plan and having it work, and then putting up 2 or 3 runs in the first inning and playing with the lead most games.
So here in Seattle, we watch these teams throughout the year, and the Rangers finished a game or two better. The Astros finished a game or two better. The Mariners went home and had, the entire winter off. You guys go all the way to the World Series. How big of a gap do you think there was between those 3 teams?
Extremely small. Enough that 162 games had to determine the winner of the West. So that just tells you how important it is for each game. I mean, winning games matters during the regular season. Winning games in April and May and June matters. It's about creating those routines and being able to win those close ball games that'll get you into the postseason. And this team is really not far off, man. I mean, they have the pitching, they have the lineup additions. This team has a lot of potential.
Any different feel from both as a Twin and a Ranger in the other dugout playing against these guys? And I know it's very early, we're a couple weeks into spring training, but maybe a perception you had about this team and this organization from the other dugout and now in the uniform, the reality of it, any kind of difference between what you perceived and what you're living?
Well, there were a couple different Mariner teams that I played against. The first one would be the Robinson Cano, James Paxton, Marco Gonzalez type team.
Felix.
And Nelson Cruz,
Yep.
Right, and Felix,
Yep.
A little different. And then the team over the last 2 or 3 years has been young studs, great arms, power sinker, power fastballs, power breaking balls. It's just been a different look. So it's honestly been kind of a nightmare to face these guys over the past 2 or 3 years. They're not too much fun to face. They're just so talented, and I'm really happy to be in their dugout.
How much did you like playing with Nelly in Minnesota?
Really enjoyed Nelly. Really, really enjoyed it, man. He's a good leader, good ball player, and he sets a good example for some of the younger guys.
Talk to me about some of the arms from your perspective. Former catcher, obviously you faced them in the batter's box.
Current catcher. Aren't you catching today?
Tomorrow.
Whoa.
Current catcher.
Current catcher.
Sorry, apologize.
Current catcher.
I didn't throw away my glove yet. Still got it.
I'm just kind of curious from your perspective. We know these guys pretty well, Logan and George, and all of them sat with us here over the years. What do they bring with their stuff when you're in the box trying to face them?
Well, each one's unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with George. He's got elite command, doesn't walk too many guys, 4 or 5 plus pitches that are in the zone, so he's on attack. Logan has about 8 feet of extension when he releases the ball, so his 98, 99 plays up to about 107.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Wu, low arm slot, high spin, throws the ball up in the zone. It gives the hitter a perception that the ball's going to be lower, but it's not. Bryce Miller has a turbo fastball that has about 21, 22 inches of induced vertical break, so he can live at the top of the zone safely with that. Everybody has something unique, and obviously, Big Cheese, he's got the low arm slot, 2 fastballs, slider, changeup, and he has the experience. And everybody has something unique about him that makes him special, and the Mariners have done a really good job finding him.
I'm sorry, I'm chuckling with Salk yesterday. We had Brant Brown sitting in that seat, and he was going through different aspects of hitting and the numbers, everything else, and Salk just looked at him and was like, how do you hit?
Yeah.
How do you ever hit the ball?
I don't know how anybody hits in today's version of baseball.
I mean, we couldn't hit the ball on a tee yesterday as it's just sitting there. And as you explain all of these things, how do you ever feel good? Like, oh, yeah, let's go.
It's always survival. Pretty much always survival in the box. Just try not to get hit and try to send it forward.
Try not to get hit.
Yeah.
Will you tell that to Ty, please? Because it seems like he's got the opposite strategy in the box. It keeps hurting him.
Well, they got to move the mound back or something. These guys got too good of stuff.
I actually think that they do need to do something like that. Either move it back or drop it by an inch or two. Do something. It feels like, especially in the last few years, with what the pitchers have learned to do and with the spin rate and the sliders that are coming up, it does feel like maybe they might need to do something at some point.
Yeah.
Are you for that?
I probably won't be in the game when that happens, but you know what? Go get them, guys. Everybody's going to be throwing 110 in about 5 years.
So you you come to Seattle. We're talking to Mitch Garver. You're coming to Seattle. Why Seattle? Why did you choose to come here?
They were just the front runner. It was the team that wanted me the most, and they made it very clear that I would mean something to this organization, that I would be coming to the lineup as a leader, as a DH mostly, and be able to contribute on the catching, game calling side of the ball. So they were just very adamant about having me, and there were a few other teams, but it was very clear that I was going to be a Mariner.
And I'm not going to do the obvious thing and ask you about your numbers in T-Mobile, because I know that in a very small sample size, they're not probably where you want them to be. But there has been a lot of talk about what it's like to hit in that ballpark, especially early in the year, April, May, even into June. Summer doesn't really seem to start until July. And you've got some experience, maybe not here, but in Minnesota. It's not like the weather is aces in Minnesota in April and May. What sort of approach helps deal with some of those issues? Some of those challenges?
That is a strange question. I don't know. I've played in Minnesota. I've played in 20-degree weather. I've played in some of the coldest places in the United States, but you just kind of strap it on and go for it. I don't think you have to change approach or anything. It's just you versus the pitcher, and whoever scores more runs that day wins the game.
Survival.
Try not to get hit.
Yeah, it is survival. The year, Mitch, looking back, you played over 100 games. You hit 31 bombs. You hit 19 in 87 games played last year as a Ranger. Is this a place where you feel like you'd like to play over 100 games?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the key, and that's something that the front office and I talked about when I was deciding to sign here. Was we need to keep you in the lineup, right? If we can just extrapolate the numbers and get you a sample size of 500 at bats.
Yeah.
Who knows what the numbers could be? I don't know. I mean, I've never done it before, so I'm just trying to really take care of my body this year, and we'll see where the catching part goes, because it seems I always get hurt when I catch, and obviously it's a very dangerous position. The more I can stay in the lineup, I think I can contribute to the team a little bit more, and put myself in an opportunity to have success.
Is it challenging at all to go from being right in the middle of every moment of the game as a catcher to being a DH where you're kind of taking half the game off almost?
Yeah, it's quite the adjustment, but I find ways to fill my time. I will study pitchers, study opposing hitters, try to game plan for the future, and I'm always watching whoever's catching that day. So Cal, for instance, I'll be watching him, watching how he's calling the game, and I'll be involved in the discussions when it comes in between innings, and I fill my time with other things like flicking seeds at guys and, dropping a cup of water on somebody's foot, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite target yet here?
No, I haven't. I'm not as brave as I was year 2 with Texas, so I got to get brave before I can start doing that to somebody.
Brant actually pointed to the hitting coach in Texas, and his title here is offensive coordinator. What do you make of that as a longtime baseball guy yourself, of this role of offensive coordinator? And just on this day, we're going to put this plan together to attack and survive and win.
Yeah, I think there's more to just the title of a hitting coach, right? Because hitting is one aspect of how you score runs, and there's so many ways that you can score runs: base running, hitting, situational hitting. Not striking out, walking. Like how you game plan against these guys is super important these days, because the way I just described our pitchers is the same way that other pitchers are developing their stuff too, right? Like the pitching has gotten exponentially better over the last few years than it has in a long time. So being able to game plan and score runs in the middle innings is super important.
What's your initial impression of Scott?
We've connected pretty well so far. Nothing I haven't seen before, right? Great player manager, loves communication. It's just been a nice time so far. A little early to tell because we haven't had a situation where we hit the panic button, but everything's been good so far.
Well, and it seems like that comes for every team at some point every year. I mean, even for you guys last year, you won the World Series. You had a moment in the middle of that season where it looked like things were going south in a hurry, right?
Sure did. I mean, we were in September, and I think every pitcher that came into the game gave up a 3 spot.
So how did Boch handle that? You guys went through it and came back out the other side. How did he handle that?
He would throw his glasses against the wall and storm up the ramp as fast as he could, but we'll see how Scott does it. I don't know yet.
Was his head that big in person, Boch?
Yeah, it's a massive dome. He's got a big dome.
Biggest you've ever seen?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
The confidence with which he says, "Yeah, probably," is definitely the best part. Well, Mitch, we are excited to have you here. I'm excited to see who your target is when we speak next year here at the same picnic table. I'm kind of excited to know who it is you found to pick on the most.
Okay, I'll try not to do it on Logan. I feel like a lot of guys pick on Logan.
It does feel that way, right? Why is everyone so mean to Logan?
I don't know. He's too friendly. He's too friendly. He's too nice. Maybe he just needs to snap on somebody.
Mitch, thank you very much. Welcome to Seattle, and we'll look forward to watching this.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Mitch.
There you go. There's Mitch Garver, who's kind enough to come sit down and chat with us.